Welcome to Thursday. It is November 8th, 2K12. This is WGTV Today. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good morning.
Good morning. It's I guess a couple of days now after Election Day, and oh boy.
That's right.
It has been a busy time. Of course, now we're not going to talk about the election, but just be aware that next week the canvass will be done and everything will become official.
That's right.
All right.
It's an exciting time,
Yeah.
though.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic on a Thursday morning.
I'm telling you, weather has turned cool.
It's fall and quickly moving into winter months. It feels like it anyway.
It does, and you know that's a good thing because it just doesn't feel right to celebrate the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and other holidays when it's 80 degrees outside.
You're right. You know, it wasn't too many years ago. I remember on a Christmas Eve service when I was at church, I remember walking out and snow flurries started. And we all talked about the fact as we were leaving, it doesn't get any better than that. It was just perfect timing.
That's nice. That's nice.
It is.
All right. Well, we have a full show for you today. Today we have, our friend Ken DERKSEN is going to be with us with the Wayne County Public Schools. Ken's going to be talking about grants made available to the school.
That's right.
We're also going to be taking a trip to the Arts Council of Wayne County's art market.
That's right. Meg Gurnett went with the DGDC, went down and interviewed several people and did a briefing through the art market and shows us a lot of the different things that'll be for sale that are all from local vendors. And they just surprise me. Every time I go, I see more and more things that are so unique.
I know, and I can't believe the art market, they have things starting for as little as $2.
Exactly. Make great gifts for the holidays.
Exactly. We're also going to be, our friend Danny Davis is going to be back with us. It's our second visit with Danny, and he's going to be talking about, history of the Goldsboro, Wayne County area.
That's right. We're standing right downtown Center Street. As he talks about our surroundings.
Wait till you hear what he has to say about downtown and the area there. Also, today, our first segment with our friend Jim Hennett. Jim's going to be with us this morning, and we're going to be talking about
Tech Talk.
Tech Talk. Hey, that's a good name.
Like that?
Okay, I like that.
Right, you're going to write that down, right?
I'm going to write that. Watch this. How do you spell tech? Never mind.
T-E-C-H.
T-E-K? What?
Well, you can spell it that way if you choose.
Okay. Talk. T-A-W-K.
Yes.
Okay.
Any way you feel the need to spell it way.
All right, today, November 8th, guess what today is?
Today
is Parents as Teachers Day.
Really?
It is, November 8th.
And I know you have spoken with those that run that program right here in our community.
That's right. It is a great program.
That's right. That was your first time talking with them and experiencing that whole program, wasn't it?
I was totally unaware of that. Totally unaware of that program.
It's been around forever, and it is not forever, but a very long time.
Almost forever.
And it is a national accredited program. Yeah. And of course, I've worked with them for years and years, and I tell you what, those parents and the children that are involved in that program speak highly and love to do little promos for them. They love to brag on the program because it's helped their families so much.
Yeah, it's a great program.
So we'll get them back on here.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, Parents as Teachers Day, a reminder that parents are the primary teachers of children ages birth to 5. The most important learning period of a person's life is birth to 5. I remember those years with glee.
Do you?
Not really. But you can, for more information about that, you can go to parentsasteachers.org. Today is also Days of Our Lives Day.
Now, what does that mean?
Days of Our Lives was a soap opera on TV, and it started on this day back in 1965, long time ago. Doc Holliday died of TB this day. You remember Doc Holliday, one of the characters, and I use that term loosely, of the gunfight at OK Corral. He died on this day at the age of 35.
My goodness.
Sad. And we have more stuff coming up there, but we're going to go ahead. What do you say we get started?
Let's get started with Ken DERKSEN this morning.
That's right. Ken DERKSEN's up next. We're going to be talking about grants for the Wayne County Public Schools here on WGTV Today. Have you in with us?
Well, thank you for having me.
It's been a long time.
It has been.
Yeah, we're going to have to do this more often, I hope.
So I hope so.
Okay. I understand that the Wayne County Public Schools recently received a nice grant to help with the STEM program. First of all, what is STEM? And then tell me about the grant.
Well, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And a lot of people think when you hear STEM that, that's all about teaching one of these areas. But what truly STEM education is, it's a culmination of all of those areas where a teacher isn't necessarily teaching English this morning. They're maybe incorporating English and math or engineering and science into their curriculum. And it's a cross-curriculum approach to teaching. So that way maybe we're not teaching from 8 to 9 o'clock English or 8 to 9 o'clock math. It's a culmination of subjects. And STEM education is truly the ability to teach students in an adult learning environment. And to do so, that creates a need for planning on the part of the teachers, or sometimes co-planning where teachers are collaborating with each other, and how can we maybe do some cross-curricular projects that can incorporate these various topics of various curriculums into a particular project as far as project-based learning. And earlier this year, the Wayne County Public Schools received a $1.6 million grant from the Department of Defense Education Activity. Wow. And that impacted 7 of our schools with that had that had military connected populations of 15% or more. And for instance, Meadow Lane Elementary might have had 45% military connected students, and then Norwayne Middle School might have had 15%, and it had to have at least a minimum of 15% military connected student populations to be eligible for the grant.
Now these, as the student populations is whatever percentage of that student of the school population.
That's correct.
They receive a percentage of the grant. And does that mean that only those students of military will be able to benefit from the grant?
Well, thankfully, no.
Okay.
So, and in fact, that's one of the requirements of the grants, that you use this money to impact the school. So that will impact both your military-connected students as well as your non-military connected students. And the idea is to make these schools more competitive. Some of these students are coming from other countries, you know, from military bases in other countries. Some of these students are coming from military bases across our country. And some of those schools may have more programs, they may have more opportunities. And this is a way to make our schools here in Wayne County, North Carolina, more globally competitive. And with this STEM grant, we were able to put iPads in every core area teacher's hands. We're working to increase the amount of technology in the classrooms, put iPad carts in the schools, 2 to 3 carts per school. Teachers are going through professional development, and basically what the schools are doing is they're modeling the instructional framework that is currently in place at the Wayne School of Engineering in those 7 schools. And what's neat about that is the Wayne School of Engineering, which is a unique school in itself, we were able to, of course, add a middle school this year, and we were able to put a learning lab similar to one at Norwayne Middle School at that school along with Greenwood Middle. And these learning labs basically have stations where these middle school students can go through, and at one station they may be learning about aeronautics, another station they may be learning about CAD or solar heat, and basically different areas of science, technology, engineering, and math, all incorporated in these workforce focused areas.
Wow.
So,
you know, just in fact, since you've been the communications director and associated with Wayne County Public Schools, just since then, it's changed so much.
tremendously.
It has changed tremendously with technology, the way with IT bringing so much to our everyday life. Kids are growing up with this now, and they're growing up even before they even get to school, before they begin school. They're in their own homes. They're learning computer technology. They're learning the electronics games to help them progress as they grow older. And the schools have had to adjust to this.
Well, and the idea is to put the technology in the hands that they're already using. You know, we have children that are at the age of 2 years old that know how to use iPads. Now, what are they going to be when they hit age 5 entering kindergarten? You know, we need to have technology that is at least at the same level what they're already using. You know, even if they're just using their mom or dad's smartphone, a lot of them know how to reach the games. They know how to do the different functions before they even reach preschool. So we need to make sure we understand how they're using the technology and how we can incorporate it in the curriculum, and not have technology that's outdated that is going to not necessarily challenge them in any way.
You know, it's almost, for an older person, almost frightening because here's these 4, 5, and 6-year-old youngsters, and they, you know, a lot of people don't even have an iPad or a smartphone. And the youngsters are growing up with these and understand how to use them and what they are and how to use them in their everyday activities.
Well, and the other part of that is the state is moving toward online testing. So we have to make sure these students understand how to use the technology if they're going to be tested using the technology, or else now we're putting an unfair roadblock in their way, if they're hindered by the technology and can't use it, then how are they ever going to test and perform well on those tests using that technology?
That's exactly right. Well, Ken, I appreciate you being with us today. First of all, we're going to do a series of programs with you, and I'm looking forward to that very much.
Same here.
With the Wayne County Public Schools Communications Director of Communications is Ken Derksen. And Ken, thank you for being with us.
Well, we appreciate you having me.
Back on WGTV today. We're back, indeed we are, and this is a Thursday morning. There we are.
Yes, it is.
It's November 8th, and thank you for being with us.
You know, Wayne, recently we were talking about something that goes on the Neuse River at the state park, Cliffs of the Neuse State Park.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't aware of it, and I can't believe I wasn't aware. And it just sounds so unique, and we want to make sure everyone knows what's going on, and that is the Christmas tree lighting and flotilla at the Cliffs of the Neuse State Park. It is a flotilla they have on the water, which are boats and canoes and kayaks and anything that can float that you can put lights on.
I used to be a kayak.
You used to be a
Well,
kayak?
it just sounds like something I should have been. You know, I don't know.
Well,
But that is going to be a tremendous amount of fun. It's something for everyone.
It is. It's December the 7th. Festivities begin that evening at 6 o'clock, and the flotilla begins at 7:30. They'll have free admission, of course, and they'll have pizza, all kinds of refreshments available for purchase, music and movies by the lake. The flotilla is open to the public, to all non-gas powered watercraft. That's important to know. So it's just non-gas powered watercraft. All right, you can pre-register by calling Candace Rowe at 778-6234. Oh my goodness, what a fun evening on the Neuse River.
I'll tell you what, that is going to be a lot of fun. And again, that's December 7th, right?
December the 7th. That's a Friday night, I believe.
Yeah, non-powered boats. That's why you mentioned kayaks.
Non-gas powered
Non-gas powered. They can be powered, but not by gas, or by a gas engine.
That's right. So you can do, you know, the kayaks and anything like that.
Kayaks and canoes.
I can't think of anything else right this minute.
Well, all right. Hey, and also don't forget, today's Thursday. That means today's the 8th, and that means day after tomorrow. A little after, just before 11 o'clock, downtown Goldsboro, the Veterans Day Parade getting underway, and then, of course, with the opening ceremonies, and then the parade itself gets underway at 11 o'clock. And I believe you still have time to get in on this.
Maybe so.
I believe you do. You can call LaShawn Moore at the Veteran Services office today, because tomorrow may be too late, because they have to arrange for people to line up and that sort of thing.
But we certainly want to come out and support our veterans and show them how much we appreciate what they have done for us.
Sure do.
Bring your flags and dress in all type of patriotic colors.
Exactly.
How about that?
Yeah. You know, up until now, I have never had a problem adjusting to standard time, saving time.
Are you having trouble?
For some reason, the last few days, you know, when we switched over last weekend,
Yes.
I don't know.
You can't catch up?
Well, see.
Well, you gained an hour, right?
I did, but see, before, I used to always go to work in the dark. Of course, most of my life I've been in the dark, but that's beside the point.
I wasn't going to go there.
I know you weren't. Thank you very much. But nowadays here, I don't have to come in quite as early as I used to have to come in. And it's daylight now, and I think that's
It's
really
throwing you off, huh?
messed me up. Yeah.
He's a morning person.
I kind of, sort of am. Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Not.
Not? Really?
No.
You don't like to. You're not an early riser.
Not early.
By habit.
No. You know, 5 o'clock just comes way too early.
It's usually before 6 a.m.
Yes, it is.
You know?
Yes, it is. But we all are on standard time now. We hope everyone is.
Hope everyone is.
Hope
yeah.
you didn't miss your activities Sunday morning by not turning that
Well,
clock
they should
back.
have. It would have been. They would have
It would have been an hour early, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Which, for some people, would have been a good thing.
Yep, you're right.
All right. Let's see. What else do we have today? Indiana's Claire Scott was a football player. He was. He kicked in this day, 1913. You got to hear this. 1913, in a football game, playing for Indiana, he kicked football's worst punt.
I would like to be known as that.
The ball was on the 3-yard line, right? His 3-yard line. He had to go back into the end zone to kick this ball. That's where he started. And ran out to the 3-yard line and kicked the ball to the opposing team, right? Well, when he started running, big wind came up, and he ran out to the 3-yard line, gave that ball a swift kick. The wind caught the ball and carried it back into the end zone. A player for Iowa jumped into the
my
end zone,
goodness.
grabbed the ball, and it was a touchdown for the opposing team. So that was
I
football's
understand
worst.
that does sound like the worst.
It does sound like the worst, and it
And it's
can
probably
happen.
been his nightmare for years.
Ever since 1913, and he's still crying about it.
Well, you know, I understand. It's down in history.
Almost 100 years ago, in fact. Yeah, that's right. That was 99. Of course, he's getting to be an old man now. All right.
Well, let's talk about a couple things coming up. Let's
do
see.
that. What's coming up?
Jingle in the Park will be Friday, December the 7th. And typically that is just a Friday night at Herman Park, and now it's going to be Friday night and Saturday.
Oh, boy.
They're having 2 days worth of activities. They want you to come out and see the light display. If you've never been, it is beautiful. They light up all the large trees there in Herman
boy.
Park. It
That's
is
nice.
very festive. They have entertainment, arts and crafts. Santa Claus will be there, and much, much more. Of course, the train rides on the Kiwanis train. So it's just a fun evening with arts and crafts, and it just really gets you in the holiday spirit. And that is Friday, December the 7th, and Saturday, December the 8th.
2 nights.
2 nights.
Wow. Wow.
At Herman Park Center. So mark your calendars.
And go both nights.
Yeah, why not?
Sure, why not? Well, let's see what we have here. We have, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving party. That's coming up Saturday. In fact, a week from this Saturday. Saturday, November 17th. From 10 o'clock until noon at the Arts Council on North John Street in Goldsboro, the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving Party. Everyone will enjoy making a beautiful Thanksgiving hanging decoration and a festive turkey.
That's right.
Afterwards, everyone will feast on butter toast and jelly beans and pretzels, just like Charlie Brown and the gang did, while watching a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Of course, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a neat little thing. I think it's the first year they've ever done that.
It is. It really is. You know, the guy that created Charlie Brown and all the Peanuts gang never liked the name Peanuts. That was not his idea. His publisher came up with that. The newspaper that first published Peanuts, when he brought them the idea and said, "Look, I've drawn out these kids and everything." He didn't like the name Peanuts, but after a while he became to understand it and like it. I can't help but feel that back several years ago there was such a thing called the Peanut Gallery,
Yes.
which referred to kids on TV. And I think that's probably where they came up with that idea. But
Could have been.
but he finally came around and said, "Well, you know, that's not too bad after all." Just a little trivial, very trivial information there.
Very trivial.
Very trivial. What you got?
Let's see. Is this today? I believe
It
it,
is.
may be.
It is
Operation
today.
Sweaters for Veterans.
All right.
Let's see. This is it's this evening at Seymour Funeral Home on 1300 Wayne Memorial Drive. They're collecting new or gently used sweaters or gloves all the way through the 12th, all the way through Monday.
Okay, so it starts
Proudly
tonight.
serving those who have served before. They're asking you to bring in sweaters that you don't use anymore or brand new sweaters that they can send and give to all the veterans. Operation Sweaters for Veterans, all day long today.
That's nice.
For more information, you can call 734-1761.
All right. It is November 8th. We are working our way quickly toward the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. I love Thanksgiving.
I do too. It's one of my favorites.
I'm telling you. So if you're looking for a gift or something, we want to again encourage you to stop by the art market, the Arts Council of Wayne County's art market.
And if
on
they
North
haven't
John
been,
Street.
they will be surprised.
You will. So I'm going to give you a clue right now as to where it is and how it is and what it is. I believe Meg is going to do
Yep,
this now,
Meg's
right?
going to do this interview. She went and spoke with them earlier this week.
All right.
So let's see.
Head out to the art market.
I'm here with Sarah Merritt, the Director of the Arts Council of Wayne County. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. So the Arts Council recently moved downtown Goldsboro. Can you tell me a little bit about how long your organization has been established and why you chose to move downtown?
Well, the Arts Council has been around almost 50 years. It was originally founded in 1963, and then in the 80s, two separate groups merged together and became the Arts Council of Wayne County. But an incarnation of the Arts Council has been active in this community for a lot of years. And we recently, about 2 years ago, decided that we needed to make a move, and we decided that the best location for the Arts Council was downtown, because if you look around the country and the state and communities where with really active arts councils and successful arts councils, typically they're located in downtown areas, and So that's why we made the decision to come down here.
Okay, and your building is gorgeous.
Yes.
I know it did not start out looking like this when you moved in. Can you tell me the kind of work you put in to make it look like this?
Yeah. Well, originally where we were sitting was one storefront space, and then where the art market is located right on the next room over was a separate space. And so we decided that when we took over the building, when we leased the building, we worked with the building owner to create a floor plan for the first floor that would have some flow so we could have a bigger space. And fortunately, the wonderful thing about a gallery is it really doesn't need to have a lot. It just needs to have really nice painted walls and it needs to look clean and fresh. And so we were able to really come up with some great ideas, like just, you know, polishing and staining the concrete floors, for example, instead of putting down carpet or anything like that. I think the biggest expense to the renovation project was the windows, because we replaced the storefronts on both sides of the gallery, and we used special glass, so it filters out 99% of the UV light.
You have a lot of stuff going on here. I mean, I think some people may think, oh, it's just a gallery, you just pop in and see artwork, but you do much more than that.
Yes.
You tell me a little bit about some of the programs you offer and even some of the work you do with other restaurants downtown, little events you host.
Yeah, well, the Arts Council, yes, I think you're right. A lot of people think that the Arts Council really just serves the visual arts, but we do, we work with every aspect of the arts. We work with theater groups, we work with musicians and music groups, you name it, we work with them. But in our facility, to a certain degree, the extent is the visual arts, because we have our year-round exhibit program, and we highlight the work of local artists. But then we also have music and visual art classes for adults and children in our facility. And then, of course, with our move downtown, one of the great things we've been able to do is we have studio spaces that we can rent to local artists, which has been a wonderful new part of our programming. But then we do a lot of other work out in the community we grant to local arts groups and community groups to be able to provide arts programming for people in Wayne County. So for example, the Boys and Girls Club gets a grant from the Arts Council to provide a drumline program that they do, which is phenomenal. We do a lot of artists and arts organizations support. We exhibit work of local artists. We feature their work in our art market, obviously, which is a really popular thing that we have in our new space, the art market. We also we have a grant program for individual artists. We do that with the eastern part of, other arts councils in the eastern part of North Carolina. We provide networking opportunities for local artists, professional development, just kind of, you know, wherever we see a need, we try to work with groups and individuals to help them.
You do a lot. Now, you mentioned your art market.
Yes.
And that's something that's really cool because anybody, you know, some people may be intimidated by the price of art at times, but your art market offers something in every price range for anybody.
The art market's always been a nice program that we've done, and it's offered a little income for us, but the most important thing that it's done is it allows local artists to be able to sell their work and have it out there every day. But it's grown exponentially since we moved, where I think before we maybe represented 25 artists, now we represent over 50.
Wow.
The thing about the art market is if anybody's interested in you know, submitting work for the art market, all they have to do is give us a call, come and see us with some samples of their work, and we'll discuss with them how the art market operates. And you know, just kind of the stipulations we have, which there aren't too many, but we try to, you know, make sure that we have a certain level of quality and that, you know, we don't duplicate too many things, and there's a really good array of different items. So we try to, you know, make sure that we have a good selection.
Okay. What can people look forward to during the holiday season? I know you have a few things coming up.
Well, you know, the Arts Council has 9 program partners, and like I said when I was talking about the grants, theater groups and music groups, and all of those groups, Center Stage Theater, Stage Struck, Third Century Singers, Starlight Dance Band, every single one of them has something that happens at the holidays. So I would encourage people to go to our website, artsinwayne.org, and take a look at our calendar, because I mean, there's no shortage of things happening for the holidays. So those groups, and they provide the ballet, I mean, the Nutcracker, all that kind of stuff. It's just really wonderful programming, and it's people say there's nothing to do in Goldsboro, and it just always amazes me because there's always something happening, and it's really, really great work, and I think they would be really impressed. This is, I think, our 8th year of our gingerbread house contest and display, and if anybody's interested in that, this year we've upped the stakes for the adult gingerbread house entries, and the winner will receive $200.
Wow.
Yes, and that those entries are judged by a local pastry chef. We use somebody different every year. And then we have children's gingerbread houses, which is really great, and so we're always excited about that, that exhibit. And then we're starting something new, Winter Landscape and Pottery juried show for local Wayne County artists, which we're very excited about as well, and the first prize for that is $200 also. So that's going to be a nice holiday destination between the gingerbread houses and the winter-themed artwork and the beautiful pottery, and then all the Christmas trees we'll have in here. We'll have all that going on, and we're open every day. So that's, you know, people can come in on Saturdays, so people can come in and check it out. And then on December, well, our holiday art market opens November 9th. So then great holiday shopping to be done. And then on December 3rd, we will have our gingerbread house breakfast, our gingerbread wonderland breakfast, I should say. And that's from 10 to noon. And it's a chance for families to come in. Kids can make a mini gingerbread house. And we always have an ornament project. And it's $3 a person. And we have hot cocoa and muffins, and it's just a really nice little holiday. And it's the day of the parade, so we always tell people come down, come to the gingerbread breakfast, and then go see the parade and really get yourself ready for Christmas. I'm trying to think of, Lord, we have a lot of stuff.
You have a ton going on, and it's going to be very festive, it sounds like.
Yes, it is. So. It's great. We're excited now to have this space completely finished and to be downtown, because once all the decorations go up in the businesses and in the lights on the outside that the city puts up, and it's just a great vibe down here, and it's just so much fun. So we're really excited to have to be down here and be part of that holiday celebration. And
wonderful.
Our website is artsandwayne.org. And our phone number is 919-736-3300, and people can, you know, email us, go on our website, find our emails. It's pretty easy. We're getting ready to launch a new website, which will be much easier to navigate. You know, they're always welcome to call or just stop in. We're open Monday through Wednesday from 9 to 5, Thursday and Friday from 9 to 7, and Saturday from 4 to 7. So they can stop in anytime, and somebody's always here.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with me today what you've got going on. And if you're looking for something to do, come down to the Arts Council. They have so much going on, and great shopping, meet some local artists. It's just a great time.
We're back on WGTV. Love the art market.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Everybody take a minute just to walk by there, go in and mingle and see for yourself, and maybe purchase some Christmas gifts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, coming up on the 20th of November, the screenings, diabetes screenings, free screenings in fact, and information about the latest treatments and supplies, people living with diabetes. This is going to be an event held at Wayne Memorial Hospital on November 20th now. And it will be, that's about 2 weeks. In fact, it's 2 weeks from yesterday. 2 weeks from Tuesday, last Tuesday. Anyway, it starts at 4 p.m. It goes till 7 o'clock. The Diabetes Awareness Health Fair at Wayne Memorial Hospital. We're going to have all kinds of experts in there to answer your questions and talk to you about diabetes. Even if you don't think you have diabetes, there's thousands of people right now walking around in Wayne County who have it and don't even know it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
It is. Expert told me one time, he says there's probably 4,000 or 5,000 people already in Wayne County, at least that many, who have diabetes, and just as many again who have it and don't know it. So
scary.
It is scary. It's very scary. So if you want information about diabetes, perhaps a family member you're concerned about, go to this Diabetes Awareness Health Fair coming up on November 20th. Starts at 4 p.m. at Wayne Memorial Hospital. That's a Tuesday evening, okay? And if you want information about the event, you can call Georgia or someone at 731-6299. 731-6299.
Well, if you are interested, the American Red Cross is having a Red and Ready tour. That is next Wednesday, November the 14th, and it's just from the 12 to 1 o'clock lunch hour.
Right.
It doesn't cost a thing, and it's at the 600 North George Street, which is the chapter here in Goldsboro. They will give a dynamic and informative 1-hour tour presented by local volunteers about the numerous ways that the Red Cross has compassionately connected with friends, family, and neighbors in all of our areas. The tour is open to the public. It starts promptly at noon. You can call 735-7201 to make reservations, which they definitely want you to do. You can talk with Tammy Forrester at American Red Cross right here in Wayne County.
I strongly recommend everyone go to that Red and Ready. It's only an hour, and it's only during lunch, and you can go and take a sandwich with you. I mean, eat it right there. But it is one of the most informative events you'll enjoy, and you will enjoy it, and you'll learn so much about our Red Cross here.
I know I did recently when I went and talked with Chuck about it.
Okay, we're going to head over to, okay, you want to know how Wayne County or Goldsboro came to be what it is? Well, part of that will be answered in the next segment with Danny Davis as we talk about a bit of history. This is segment number 2 with Danny, about a bit of the history of the city of Goldsboro and the county of Wayne. Also coming up, our first discussion with Jim Hennett. It is time for Tech Talk, WGTV today.
Welcome to downtown Goldsboro. I'm right here at the square in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I have with me Danny Davis, local history buff, who's going to share with us how Goldsboro got started and some interesting facts about downtown Goldsboro and the buildings surrounding us. Hi, Danny.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to the show again, and we're excited to hear about Goldsboro and how it started. Can you get started and share some of that information with us?
We'll be happy to. Where we're standing right now, you say when it got started, when this area was first even thought about being developed, it was a broom straw field. And being a broom straw field, it was wide open. You had wooded area on the fringes, and I do believe that this area was logged at a certain point, the reason it had broom straw in it. The closest thing we had to civilization, where we're standing right now, was the city or town of Waynesboro, which was our county seat, founded in 1787. And Waynesboro thrived because of the Neuse River. That was transportation. That's how you got goods to market, to and from market. And also another mode of transportation that was only 3 blocks from where we stand right now was what was called or known as the old New Bern Waynesboro Raleigh Stage Road. This was a stage road that ran from New Bern through the town of Waynesboro, which was approximately 1 mile from here, on to Raleigh. Something happened with transportation in 1836 that was unheard of at this time. It was called the railroad. The longest railroad in the world at that time began that year. And it happened to be that we are standing at the exactly halfway point of that railroad, which was 161 miles long. Now keep in mind logistically, if you're going to build a railroad 161 miles long, where is it logical to put your workshops and your work sheds to get that construction done? In the center,
in the middle,
equal distance to the ends. And if we're exactly at the halfway point, it's convenient. We have a stage road and we have an existing town 1 mile away so that we can billet, and there's available taverns, hotel, very convenient. So a man by the name of Matthew T. Goldsboro, who was in charge of the railroad, set his workshops up along where we are right now. And that was the beginnings of Goldsboro. The railroad was completed from one end to the other in 1839. Now this is interesting to note. The railroad, when it began, was called the Wilmington-Raleigh Railroad.
I've heard about that. I've always wondered why, and I assumed because it went from Wilmington to Raleigh.
Well, that was the purpose in the beginning, but the backers on the Raleigh end eventually decided to do something different. The railroad was completed in 1839, but what's interesting that in as early as 1838, the first locomotive came into the town where we're standing now. And folks from Waynesboro and the farmers out in the outlying areas came in. It was a big celebration that day, even though the railroad was not completed at that point. Well, the citizens in Waynesboro decided, you know, this thing's going to take off. This is the new way of travel. Exactly. Of course, just like with anything, a lot of people don't like change. A lot of the older residents of Waynesboro thought it was a fad. Very similar to some folks like us when the internet came out. They said that's going to be the new way to shop. I said that would never happen. Now look at us now. But the railroad became very successful. Now, one of the early entrepreneurs that saw value in this was a man by the name of Arnold Borden. The name Borden is a very important name in our history. Arnold Borden ran a hotel in the town of Waynesboro. Well, Matthew T. Goldsboro told him, he said, look, this is going to be the new way of travel. I encourage you to move your hotel up here. So what Arnold Borden did in 1838, before the railroad was ever completed, he built his first hotel, and it stood directly behind me here. There was a grove of trees here, a grove of elms, and the hotel sat 60 feet back off the street. One of the local natives says it was the largest house he'd ever seen. It had 24 fireplaces in it, 3 stories with balusters and porches all the way around. So this was built in 1838. It wasn't long after that in 1840 the second hotel was built, which is on the opposite corner of where we're standing now, the Hotel Goldsboro. And it's interesting, that is the site of 5 hotels, 3 hotel buildings. There have been that exact same site, been 3 hotel buildings since 1840 under 5 different names. So, but anyway, the town started to grow. And more and more residents from Waynesboro moved up to Goldsboro. A lot of the houses were actually either dismantled or rolled on logs with mules and brought up the hill and located along either side of the railroad. So, yeah, interesting history. Of course, you and I could stand here and talk about so many interesting stories that took place here, but some of the noted features that we'll never know today, where we're standing now, the first railroad depot actually was where we're standing, and what it amounted to was a roof that ran from one side of the street up, over, and down to the other side, so that the trains passed underneath it. This was destroyed by fire eventually, but never rebuilt as the hotel acted as a ticket office. Now, people say, wasn't there more than one railroad? There was. There was actually more. What happened in about the 1850s, a east-west railroad was constructed, connecting Goldsboro to Charlotte, and in about 1858, another link was set from Goldsboro to Moorhead. So now Goldsboro becomes a major railroad intersection and very important to the early history of Goldsboro. A lot of people don't realize that one time in North Carolina history, Goldsboro was the 4th largest city in the state. Very important town. Very important town. We have a lot of rich history here. So I'll stop at that point now. Do you have any questions? Because there's a lot of information.
You know, there's so many beautiful buildings, and the architecture is so gorgeous around us. Can you point out some of the things that, other than the hotels, that happened around us, or some of the buildings that are still standing today?
I will, because somebody said, now, this hotel is no longer standing. What happened? Unfortunately, it was lost to a fire. There were many fires in Goldsboro. As you can imagine, wooden buildings, you've got 3 layers of track here, trains burning coal, spitting fire, a lot of fires. The old Borden Hotel was lost to a fire in 1868. This block here was quickly rebuilt the year 1870. So the construction you're seeing now is actually 1870 construction.
All of this here?
All of this is 1870 construction.
Okay.
Now, the building you see on the corner, the old Goldsboro drugstore.
Yes.
Okay. That has been a drug company since 1870. It has not changed. Unfortunately, no longer in business, but up until 3 years ago, it was the longest running drug company in the state of North Carolina. Another interesting fact about that building, I find it neat, is that when Goldsboro first got its telephones, there was a telephone exchange. We've seen the old movies where the operator, look, it was located in the top floor of that building. That was Goldsboro's first phone exchange.
Oh my goodness.
And what's interesting, the first telephone number was issued to Goldsboro Drug Company.
Of course.
Phone number 1. And until they went out of business, their telephone number was always number 1. But by the time they closed, we had a prefix 0001.
Years and years and years later.
Years and years and years later.
Wow.
The building on the corner, opposite corner here, was one of Goldsboro's former banks. It's called the People's Bank of North Carolina. I'm understanding from some of the older citizens, this building used to be 2 stories tall. And a very infamous hurricane called Hurricane Hazel took the top of that building off, along with some other damage that was done to buildings downtown.
Wow. Wow,
So-
wow. Well, Danny, you've given us a great overview of how Goldsboro got started, and you've touched on a few of the buildings down here. So you all stay tuned. You'll hear more about downtown and the city of Goldsboro a little bit later. Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you for having
And I
me.
know today you've learned more about what has happened in the past in your community.
Our guest today is my old buddy,
Thanks a lot, Wayne.
Jim Hennett is with us this morning. Jim, how you doing?
Good, man. Good
Appreciate
to see
you
you.
coming in.
Good to
see you
you
too. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot for being with us.
Well, it's been a while since I've actually been on TV in Wayne County.
Well, for those who are new to the area, Jim held this spot on Channel 10 for a number of years, as
Yeah,
a matter
quite
of
a
fact.
few years.
Quite a few years, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're with us this morning. Well, there's so many things I want to talk about.
Okay.
Let's start with, let's start with television, since that's where we are.
All right. Okay.
Let's start with television. Of course, you have background in TV. You have background in communications as well.
That's right.
That's your degree in
My degree is
from school?
actually in broadcast engineering. So I not only learned how to do television and radio production, but I learned how to build the stuff and work on the stuff.
Okay.
Not that I could do it today, but it was, you know, I don't know if I want to try to. or not.
Okay. So what? How do you distinguish what is going on with television as far as the bands that are being used? Now I know there's here a few years ago, the government became involved with it, and they needed certain bands for their use, for the government use, and they then required those who were on, they were on satellite or on antenna, or
It was
anyway,
actually
they
on
had to buy-
antenna. What
Yeah.
happened was the government, of course, the government, the FCC has always been involved with it, but Congress got involved and they passed laws making changes to television.
Yeah.
And up until this last change, when we went to digital, high definition and digital, everything was upward compatible. We started off with black and white TV. We had a standard.
Right.
Then they came out with color TV, and it was compatible, so the black and white TVs would still work.
Aha.
The technology was such and designed such that they would still work with each other.
Right.
But this was so drastic of a difference in technology that it wouldn't work together.
Just wouldn't work at
Right.
all.
And that's why they came out with a digital television, high definition at the same time, and we went from the 4:3 ratio to what they call 16:9, the widescreen,
right.
and so that's why our TVs are different now.
And that's why we are required now for those people who use antennas on their TVs to have the converter box.
Converter box, because the old TVs will not pick up the signals. And that's another change that was made, because we were actually broadcasting analog signals for television, for those that want to know the technical side of that.
Right.
But they converted it over to a digital signal, which is actually a series of zeros and ones. And by doing so, we actually increase the quality. We get rid of the noise factor and so forth. Used to, if you had a lightning strike, 10 miles away, your TV would actually show a little
Oh yeah,
sparkle
you can see a little
across.
spark across the screen there.
And with digital, you won't see that as easily. And
it's there, but you don't see
it's
it.
there, but
Yeah.
the system handles it. But the other thing the FCC did was change the bands, and you mentioned that, because all the lower bands, what was originally the VHF, was channel 2 through 13, I believe it
2
was.
through 13, yeah.
Was the original frequency set up for television. They did away with those. And they had a UHF band, which was 14 up through 83. And they basically narrowed that down.
Right.
And put a lot more, all the television stations went to a little small area. And that freed up those other bands for other uses. And a lot of what they're going to use that for, by the way, are communications for computer systems, computer networks.
Right.
That's the reason they're doing that, because they're seeing that as the future of what's going to be coming out.
And I hate to admit it, but they're probably right.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are. That's going to happen.
Broadcast television as we know it, I think it'll still be around, but it's going to change. It's still going to evolve more and more.
I was going to ask you what you see happening in that regard down the road. Not to jump ahead of you, but what do you see happening down the road?
I think we're going to see more and more of television on demand, where even now for broadcast I DVR.
Yeah.
And so then when I get home,
Right.
I got my programs that I wanted to watch, and I'll play them when I want to see them.
Right.
and that's what we're going to see more of. I think that more television programs are going to be on demand versus being pushed to the consumer at a certain time.
Which some people will really like because it's there. You see only the programs you want to see when you want to see them, and you're not required to sit there and wait for something to happen. And a lot of people go into the DVR through
you can get it through your cable system like we are here. You can also you can get it on satellite television, and even if you have if you have just an antenna, they actually have boxes you can get to set it up and do the recordings on the box.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How about
so, one of the things we're going to see that the FCC is trying, they haven't come out. One time they said they're going to do it, then they backed off from it, is combining local television stations into one channel, one tower, one transmitter.
Oh, really?
With the technology that we have today, with the digital technology, you could actually have, for example, Channel 5 and Channel 11 be on the same tower, the same transmitter, and it just gets multiplexed together. Your television still separates it into Channel 5 and Channel 11.
Wow.
But it's actually coming through as one signal. And that technology is available today.
Is it really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
They can actually put up to, on one transmitter, up to 10 separate TV channels with the technology we have today.
And that frees up all these other bands and channels.
That's the reason for doing it, right? To free up the other bands and hopefully have more people broadcasting, or free it up for more bandwidth to be used for data communications.
Okay, so that's interesting. So and of course I think the buzzword, the buzz initials HD is used a lot this day and time. Explain that.
That's high definition, and of course the problem is with technology, by the time it comes out, there's always something better. Originally our televisions were essentially what they call 480i, or the standard definition, and most of the 4.3, the older tube televisions, were standard definition.
Right. Does the I still stand for interlaced?
Interlaced, okay, exactly.
Got it.
Right.
All right.
The other option of that is the P for progressive,
Progressive.
Which basically means that any point on the screen that is the same as the previous shot, it doesn't have to send that over. It's already there. It only sends changes or the progression.
This is what you're seeing on television is actually nothing more than a lot of pictures.
Right.
Run at extremely high speed.
Well, what happened, the standard television was essentially putting out 30 pictures per second, roughly. It's a little, I don't want to get all too detailed with it because it's not actually 30, but it's close to it. And that's where we saw the 30p come from, or the 60i, because there's actually two frames, they call it, and I don't want to get into more details.
Let's not get to it. Don't bog me down here.
But anyway, we had 480 essentially interlaced,
Right.
and that basically meant that it was sending the complete picture all the time, over and over, 30 times a second roughly. With the progressive, it only sends the parts of the screen that change, and supposedly it's a little more efficient. But to get a little, there's just a difference. Some say it is, and it depends on the content. Yeah. And I won't go into that any more than that. Then we had high definition. High definition on what we have today starts at 720p, and that's 720 lines of resolution versus 480. So you get almost double. And then we have 1080, and most television stations today are broadcasting either the 720p or the 1080i. There are no television stations that are pushing 1080p, and it takes too much data bandwidth to push that through than what we have available to us with the technology today. It may come later.
So somebody going out to a big box store here buying a television, what should they be looking for?
I would get a 1080 television.
Would you?
And I would also get at least 120 hertz. That's the thing.
120?
At least 120 minimum.
Instead of a 60.
Yeah, don't want a 60. And the reason why, if you have 120 hertz refresh rate on it, if you have a lot of action and fast movement, that television can follow it.
Okay.
Mine I have at my house, by the way, is a 240.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've seen up to a 480.
Oh, my goodness.
Where you can really notice it, by the way, if you're watching golf, when the guy's putting.
Okay.
You're watching a guy or girl putt the ball, and you see the ball, a green background of the grass, and you see this white ball rolling across.
Yeah.
You'll see little artifacts behind it. On the 60, the 120 and above, typically you won't see as many or not see any rolling behind. That's usually where you can see it the most. Or somebody passing a football, and they look behind the football, it's kind of a blurry look behind it. And
you won't see that.
You won't see that on the higher refresh rates.
Some of us are not that picky, Jim.
But gamers love the higher resolution.
I know, that's what I was going to say. That's where a lot
Yeah.
of the gamers will go.
Yeah. One of the big things that's happened in the last, well, really the last 10 years on television are the cameras.
Oh yeah.
Back when I was working with Channel 10, we had cameras that haul on my shoulder. These things weighed about 10 to 12 pounds.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like much, but when you hold it on your shoulder for 3 hours, like I used to do at the Center Street Jam,
Right.
my hand would be numb.
Right.
You know, I'd have to take it with the other hand and just shake this hand
Yeah.
to get the feeling back in it. But they're pretty heavy cameras. Today, my cell phone would take a better picture than what that camera did.
Yeah.
You know, so
right.
the technology in cameras has changed quite a bit.
Considerable.
And in fact, the cameras you're using here are fairly current cameras, and but the technology they're working on will outdate these in 2 years.
No time at all.
Yeah,
That's right.
And because that is changing so fast.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to break here, and we're talking with our buddy Jim Hennett, who is today we were talking about television, and we're going to along a series of discussions. We're going to be talking about the new Windows 8 operating system. We're going to talk about iOS and other things. That's all coming up in days to come here on WGTV. Thank you, Jim, for being with us today. Jim Hennett. We're back on WGTV today. My head's still spinning from all that stuff from Jim Hennett. Wow.
Tech Talk.
Tech Talk. He's very knowledgeable.
That's right. Well, y'all mark your calendars. The Seven Springs Christmas Parade is coming up. It's in November, Wayne.
Really?
Saturday, November the 17th. So
Okay.
it's early. We all need to make note.
Okay, November 17th,
At 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
3 in the
And
afternoon.
it takes place on Main Street in Seven Springs.
Which street was that?
Main Street.
Main Street in Seven Springs.
If you would like to be a participant in the Seven Springs Christmas Parade, you can call Karen Linker at the Seven Springs office. Lineup will be at 1 o'clock.
All right.
How about that?
All
November the
right.
17th, Seven Springs.
All right, and then when you want to go to the other Christmas parades, that's easy. Christmas parades on Saturday, December 1st. There's 3 of them. You can spend all day celebrating your Christmas parade. Mount Olive will begin at 10 o'clock, line up at 9. Fremont at 1 o'clock, line up at noon. And then the Goldsboro Christmas Parade begins at 4 p.m., line up at 3, and each one will have a busy Santa Claus running from parade to parade, I'm sure.
That's right. Then there's others. There's one the very next day, isn't it?
Yeah, there's Pikeville having their Christmas parade on Sunday afternoon, line up at 2, and everything gets underway at 3 p.m.
And don't forget Eureka. They're the next one.
Oh, yes, don't forget Eureka.
That's right.
December 9th on... December 9th, that's a Sunday afternoon in Eureka. Line up at 2, and that parade begins at 3 p.m.
That's right. Got to make sure we get it all out there.
Got to cover all the Christmas parade bases.
That's
you
right.
understand, sure.
And we have a turkey shoot.
We have shooting, we have turkeys at which
Careful.
yes, we have
Careful,
we have
Wayne.
a turkey shoot. This turkey shoot is going to be held at the Stony Creek Disc Golf Course, and this is to be held on Sunday, November 11th. Beginning at 10 a.m. That's November 11th, beginning at 10 with 2 rounds. Stony Creek Disc Golf Course, you know where that is.
Yes, I do, right there on Ash Street.
That's on East Ash Street. That's right, bottom of the hill. Real nice place there. It's sanctioned. It's a C-tier event sanctioned by the Professional Disc Golf Association. That's the site anyway. The turkey shoot will be the first annual Greater Goldsboro Turkey Shoot, and it will benefit the Disc Golf Club. With 3 divisions, actually several divisions, but it's broken down into professional, and then amateur, and then junior. And boys and girls, 19 and under, will play or shoot in the junior divisions. Anyway, there's a lot of prizes, and there's a lot of fun right there as well.
And there's another turkey shoot.
There's another one?
At the American Legion in Dudley.
Oh, yeah.
That's every Friday starting October the 19th, and it goes through December the 14th. Every Friday, families are welcome, and they have a 50-50 drawing, dessert raffles. Let's see, they'll have a canteen available where you can get drinks, free chili and cornbread.
Oh, boy.
All the prizes will be like, of course, you'll win turkeys, but also gift certificates, cash, and much more. It's a new kind of turkey shoot. 10 identical guns will be provided, $4 per round, fun for all. It's all fair and square.
There you go. Wow.
So lots of opportunities.
So that's already going now.
That's already started.
And
that's right.
already started. And if you want to know where the American Legion hut is, you take 117 south to the fairground, go just a little further, and it'll be on your left.
They said fast paced, no long waits.
No long waits. All right. This day, 1985. You're not going to believe this one.
1985?
1985, a few years back. And you would think the Halloween thing would already be over with, but it was on this day in 1985 when police in Portsmouth, England arrested 3 guys. They arrested Batman, Robin, and Superman. So here's what happened. Batman, Robin, and Superman walked into a bar. Well, actually, it was a nightclub, and started a fight. Anyway, they arrested those 3 guys, and then on the very same night, for some reason, at another nightclub, police hauled in 3 more. They got Spider-Man and Popeye the Sailor and some guy from Australia.
The whole gang was out.
Everybody was out.
All the superheroes.
The gang's all here. And that's going to wrap it up for today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. So have a wonderful day. Enjoy the day. Make the most of it. And until tomorrow, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.